Welcome to the Real Estate Investment Nomad podcast. I am your host, Nathaly Salas, an international real estate expert. Join me as we explore the thrilling world of global real estate. We'll uncover diverse international markets, backed by solid data and engaging insights. Each episode features expert guests from the hottest markets, providing you with the knowledge to invest wisely and successfully. Whether you are a local realtor aiming to go global or an investor curious about international opportunities, this is the podcast for you. Get ready to transform your approach and achieve global real estate success to become a real estate investment nomad. Hello, this is Nathaly with the Real Estate Investment Nomad podcast. Now we're going to Europe.
Yes.
So we have one of our top producers here from Italy.
Welcome to Italy.
Thanks for being with us, Armando.
Thank you for having me over.
I would love for you to share a little bit more about you, your story, get into the buying process of Italy, and we'll maybe close on the benefits and some of the risks maybe that you might foresee for buyers that want to invest internationally, especially in your country.
Okay, why not? So my name is Armando Sacco, and I am in real estate for 30 years, but they're saying that now that's not
So you started
that
when you were
important.
5, right?
It's the last 4 years that I'm joined with EXP. That has changed completely my line of work and the way I do this job, and the innovation that is bringing our way. It's just helps us to keep up to date with the market and with the technology. So I had an experience in Toronto as well. For 7 years, I was working there selling real estate. So I do have the knowledge of how real estate is dealt with in North America and in Italy specifically. I am in the area of Rome, so the capital. Understand that in Italy, 50% of transactions happen between Rome, Milan, and Turin.
Okay.
So they count for 50% of the transaction
Okay.
and the volume, yes. The other 50% are all the other markets. We do have a really strong active market on the coastlines for vacation properties, and where we do have university hubs or tech hubs. So Italy is quite long, it's quite big. So you need to do your homework before deciding where to purchase your next property in Italy. It all depends on what are you looking for. Do you want that second home close to the seasides? Then, you go one route. If instead you have, idea of having an investment and you want a return on the investment, a steady ROI, so maybe you would rather go to the cities, either for cultural purposes, university purposes, or if you're a nomad, a digital nomad, that would be great too. It all depends. It comes down to knowing the intentions of the buyer. And if it's an investor, obviously it's more focused on numbers. But if it's a family or a private person that maybe is retiring, nowhere if they have an Italian heritage, where are their roots? Because I'm sure that will attract them back to the area where everything started.
And Italy is such an exotic country, right? You have everything from the solid to the mountains to the island life.
From skiing on the Alps to, some of the most pristine waters in the Mediterranean Sea.
I love it.
Yeah.
So who are the main buyers of people who are looking at Italy right now? Is it mostly Europe, or you're getting more also traffic from the US kind of these days?
No, we're having more and more US interest. Some interests are for geopolitical. Some others have always been, but a lot of foreigners come from Central North Europe, which means Germans, England, some Netherlands people, some pockets, even Polish people are moving to Italy more and more because they like it. Russians are a little bit on pause nowadays, but they represented a strong portion of a strong percentage of buyers.
So that's awesome. So then where are you mentioned some cities, let's focus on Rome and your market specifically. What kind of buyer goes? There's a big city, right?
Yes,
and that is very cultural too.
It's a big city. It has 8 international universities, plus the Italian universities. Well, Rome,
Rome area.
Rome is maybe one of the most largest capitals, like area-wise, and I always give the comparison with Paris.
Okay.
The size of Rome is 8 times Paris.
Okay.
So we got a lot of green. It's a big municipality.
The Vatican is the one small.
Vatican is actually a state on its own.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not considered Italian.
Really?
It's not considered Italy. So it's an
like
extraterritorial space.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just one square mile, so it's tiny. But Rome goes from the seaside all the way up to the hills, so it is huge. What we call and we want to refer to as Rome is the one in the ring. We call the Gran Raccordo Anulare, which is the highway that surrounds Rome.
Uh-huh.
And so whatever is inside that ring, it's considered like Rome, and the other things are the outskirts.
Okay.
So and in Rome you can find the prices go from 2,500 per square meters all the way up to 13,000 per square meter. Obviously, Spanish steps are in demand. Whatever has like an international stage is very high in demand.
Mm-hmm.
And so it all depends. Like, why are you coming to Rome? Why are you targeting Rome? So what we get a lot now is people that want to have a second home vacation, but in the meantime have some cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
So B&Bs, and that's why large apartments are in demand, because they would get remodeled, put extra bathrooms, and so you turn it into a B&B, and you tap into the hospitality and tourism sector. And Rome is great for that because most of the Rome's units were built after World War II, where families were larger.
Yeah.
So now 50% of the families are either one-person families or couples.
Mm-hmm.
So they count for more than 50%.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, like, we got a birth rate of 0.8, which is the lowest one in Europe, not maybe in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have an oversupply of large homes, around 1,500 square feet, and a strong demand of smaller homes, like 1 bedroom, maximum 2 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So all the 3 and 4 bedrooms that are available in Rome, they could be a good opportunity to be switched into an investment property.
Interesting. And how much? I mean, I know prices will vary, but
Yes.
That's a big home. You say 1,500 square meters or square feet?
Oh, that's a big home.
That's
so
huge.
Lately I've seen a 2,000 square feet, like
okay.
a 2,000 square feet
That's more
home
like the average.
to be remodeled in a very good location. And we priced it like around $1 million.
Okay.
It was like quite a good price. We're talking about $500 per square foot.
That's okay.
Yeah. But then with remodeling it, you might end up on up to $700 or $800, or depending on how you do the remodeling, and can always even go up to 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Rome is really in demand, not only for touristic purposes. Rome is the capital, so we got all the administrative offices, the parliaments, all the ministries. So it is quite. That's okay. She's doing her job. It is quite okay. It is quite in demand, even from people that come from all over Italy because they work in Rome or the kids study in Rome. So there are a lot of students, a lot of professionals that maybe are not buying, but they're renters. So that's a great opportunity for who wants to make an investment.
Interesting. And then for the Airbnb kind of world, are there any restrictions? Because, for example, in Barcelona, they have restricted quite a bit, and they don't allow them anymore, or there's very limited licenses.
So in Tuscany, in places like Florence, they stopped giving out licenses.
Okay.
In Rome, it's still possible, but if you have more than 4, you have to be unincorporated.
Okay.
Yeah. Even tax-wise, you have to distinguish if it's a private property or if it's corporate-owned.
Okay.
So it all depends. You need to do your due diligence, have a team that assists you, from a lawyer to an accountant to a real estate agent, and they all synergetically work in order to give you a big picture.
And then for the income that you will get from short-term versus long-term?
Okay, so long-term
more or less
goes between 3 to 5%.
Okay.
where short term you can go up to 9 to 10%. If we're talking about residential, commercial, as in all over the world, depend on the asset class. So if you got retail or you got hospitality again, or hotels, or or warehouses, it all depends on where it's located. So in commercial real estate, the biggest number of transactions happen into the logistics.
Okay.
Because a lot of last mile moves with Amazon and all the other companies that deliver right at your home.
Yes.
So that is quite in demand, especially around the big cities.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the outskirts, I imagine.
Yes,
Right?
obviously, not downtown.
Nice.
Downtown, you might want to convert it.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing more and more regional laws that will allow you to convert
Okay.
from, let's say, retail to residential, or a mix, or from offices to student homes. So what they're calling, they're calling, they don't want you to add new concrete. They want you to use the old buildings and repurpose them.
I've seen that a lot in Spain, especially Valencia, when the bottom, they used to be like a store, and they flip it to Airbnb, but only Airbnb is allowed on the first floor, only not to disturb the residents that are long term. Is that something similar in Italy?
In Italy, every municipality has a say, so it really depends on where you're buying. So things that would be allowed in Rome not necessarily will be allowed in Venice or Florence or Milan. So you have to do your homework and be, obviously, have a team that works for you, not to have any pitfall.
Yes.
If that's what you want to avoid.
And since you know the whole market of Italy, based on the different cities that there are, kind of the demographics of people who move there, like families for one type of city, digital nomads for different, or other people who retire.
Okay, so
we can go city by city.
Yeah, they go city by city. It depends on really what's the interest that is bringing people there. Again, you either move there because you have a plan to retire, and so maybe you want to target the 5 regions, the southern regions, where they have like tax, a flat tax for foreigners that live on a foreigner pension.
Okay.
If it's a vacation home, it really depends on where you want to be, and you don't necessarily need to be in the millions. The average price for foreigners, like it starts within 200,000 euro.
Okay.
So it is not necessarily a big ticket item.
So it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Like one recent case was a family that purchased their home in Sardinia, in a place that is really in demand for windsurfers or whoever does water sports. It's well known for having more than 200 days of wind per year. So it is a wind machine from, let's say, March or late March, early April, all the way up to October. So, and that would generate more than 10%. Like actually you're in the 12, 13% return on the investment. So
the area.
Yearly. Yeah. The year.
Okay.
Yeah. So it depends, obviously, where you want to target. So being site specific and have like that local intelligence is key.
And then for the when you go taxes, I'm curious about taxes. Not only for property taxes, but also transfer tax.
Yes.
How is Italy? I mean, I might vary by municipality as well, but in general, like there's a percentage for closing because people should allocate, and that will include the sales tax.
So when it comes to land transfer tax, it's all of Italy is the same.
Okay.
So it is 9% of the estimated, not the purchase price, unless you're buying from a developer. So you would pay VAT, value added tax, at 4% of the price you're actually paying. But if it is not, and that's for first home buyers, otherwise it would be 10%.
Okay.
When instead, if you are in the second, not new homes, but resale homes, it is 2% for the first home buyers of the assessed value from the tax department, or 9%.
Okay.
So, but the assessed value is sometimes even half of what the real value is.
Oh, okay.
Because we do have a calculation that we have to put in place, and so you will know right off the bat how much that is, and it changes from property to property. But I would say another thing that might a foreign investor would not know is that in Italy both sides pay commission.
Okay.
So the real estate agent is entitled to be paid from 3 to 5%, let's say, from the seller and from the buyer. So it all depends, and that is agent specific. So you have to ask the agent, what is your commission? And obviously it can be negotiated, but then you got these non-written rules
Yes.
that the industry abides by. So if you put everything together and you're not getting financing, I would say you need to allocate something around 15% of the price. Obviously, if you would instead move in the next 18 months and make that house your permanent residence, then you would pay you have a 7% discount. So it would be half of that. Yeah.
First home, 2%.
First home buyers, it's like 2% of the assessed value. And obviously then you got to pay the notary, because we have a public officer that takes care of closing. And it's not a lawyer. You don't need the two lawyers like in North America. You have a notary that takes care of making sure that the property is legally sellable, or that you don't have any lien. Yeah, they check everything.
Oh, that's good. How are the laws for protecting the buyers? I mean, we heard about the €1 properties too that we love to chat about, the benefits, risks, and everything that comes with it. But what are some of the risks that you foresee? Somebody doesn't know what they're doing and they're online something.
Okay, one great advice would be never send money before you see the property, or or before you make sure. Yeah. So
get ripped out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of transactions that go without an agent, and those maybe are the riskier ones for a foreign perspective, because you have to make sure that the person you're talking to is the actual legal owner.
Yes, that's
okay. So get involved the notary, I would say, at the least, if you're going private, or an agent. Like choose an agent, put in an agreement or representation, and seek for that help that you need, because there are so many things that can go wrong, and one of them is the zoning. That's a big thing. In Italy, there was a lot of illegal buildings, a lot of illegal activity when putting an addition to a home and not reporting it, and that would stop the notary from closing the deal.
Okay.
So you have to make sure you do your due diligence. So in that team that I was saying, we need to add what would be like a surveyor that goes to the city hall, pulls out the blueprint, and makes sure that the house that you're buying is actually matching the permits that were issued by the municipality.
Interesting.
So yes, there's a lot of work to do, but it's doable. Like we have 600,000 transactions per year in Italy, and it's growing in the last 2-3 years. We're breaking 700,000. We did last year, and this year is more or less in line, because we just had a reduction on interest rates, and that is bringing a little bit of fuel to the market.
So they're lower now?
Yeah.
Or
Well, we are tied to the Central Bank of Europe, and so they just lowered it another 0.25%.
Yeah, because we're chatting with Lars in Germany before, and they say they used to first finance you 110% of the property. It was crazy. I've never seen that before.
No.
And here, what would be like a financing? Is that financing for a foreign or no?
Actually, as we speak today, there is a webinar about that.
Okay.
So it is really tough for foreign buyers if their source of income is outside of United Europe.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're a non-EU income maker, it is tough, because banks cannot have control on your income stream. Where if you're in Italy, obviously they can freeze your payments and get the courthouse to freeze 1/5 of your payments, so that of your revenue, and so to get their money, or they can actually sell the house.
Yeah.
On an auction, on judicial auction. Yeah. The courthouse takes care of, repossessing the house and making sure that who lend you money gets the money back. So to answer the question, for Italian, the threshold is 80%, land to value, LTV, with debt ratio to income around 1/3, like 33%. So some banks 31, 32, other ones pushed away all up to 35% of your income. But they have to make sure that you got that poverty threshold, in place. So yeah, there's an allotment of certain amount of money so that you don't fall into become then financially distressed.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So,
Yeah. And it takes time. When I used to say in Canada to my broker that in Italy it would take like 2 to 3 months to get mortgage approval, they would get shocked because in Canada it takes 3 days for approval and 5 days you got the money in your bank account. In Italy it takes like 2 months to be approved and then another month to get the money. So
that's for Italians that have Italian income or European
that's
income.
for Italian that have Italian income.
Or European income.
Yes, or Europeans. Well, if you're a foreigner and you're European, that 80% goes down to 65%.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're not Italian.
So,
I mean, earning in Italy.
not earning in Italy, but earning in euro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then if you're from the US, you have to bring cash.
My suggestion if you're from the US is to work a HELOC back at home, like a home equity line of credit, and use those funds to do a cash purchase, which gives you some leverage on negotiation. You know, cash buyers, they had a little bit of a strength.
Especially if they did a loan back in there when the interest was low.
Yeah. Well, at some point the interest was like 0.25, 1%. Now we're at 3.5.
That's pretty decent because in Mexico we're like 9 to 14.
I know, and even in Canada, I've heard that they're still in the 7s, if I'm not wrong. So
yeah. So then, well, as always, cash is king for purchases in Italy as well.
Mhm.
So for the process, we talk about the notary.
Yeah.
So the steps to follow if, let's say we have the cash, will be first having a good realtor by your side, and then what would be the steps to follow?
Okay, so another thing is that in Italy, we do not have an MLS that covers all of the properties. That's one of the challenges because if you hire me, then I have to go to the other realtor and ask if they want to cooperate. So we got two scenarios. The answer is yes, we cooperate. So my client pays me and the seller pays the other agent. If the answer is no, well, the buyer has still entitled to pay that agent, which we would call the listing agent. And if they want my assistance, I would go for a flat fee, and we will work that out. So,
like a personal shopper, like a Spain has.
Yes. In Italy, they call it property finder. It's a nice way to put it. Yeah, so if you're working with a property finder, you might be ended up paying an extra 2%, but then always ask. Always ask. There's nothing it's written in stone, and we cannot say
negotiable.
Yeah, because we got some antitrust laws, so we cannot do a cartel and say we all work for 4%. No, there is it ranges, and it's up to the consumer to negotiate that with the agent.
Okay. That would be kind of some of the challenges technology in Italy because sometimes
language is a barrier, and the red tape. Understanding all the red tape. Yeah, the bureaucracy.
So will you say that the timeline of the closing will just vary based on that and the financing, if there is any?
So from when you identify the property you like and you put in an offer, it would go from 3 to 6 months to close.
Okay. So prepare to
if there are no issues. Sometimes the owner.
That's a fast route. 3 months.
That's the the fast route could be like even 2 months, 1 month. It depends. Like right now I'm selling to an Irish buyer, an American owned property in Italy. And it's, we're working on 60 days.
Okay.
So we're actually closing within the 10th of July. No financing because it's a cash purchase. Mm-hmm. But since the Americans were thinking of moving and they claim for the benefits of first-time owners, now we have to have the revenue agency recalculate it so that they don't have any fine and they don't leave any issues with the property. So now they're going to be paying the 7% difference that they didn't pay at first.
Interesting.
But we need an official piece of paper from the office, and we applied on the 9th of this month, and today is the 25th. Still haven't heard. So that's why you need an agent that then goes and knocks and actually goes physically to the office and say, hey, we have this application. What's the state of art? Where are we at with it? And then they push it and they might come back. But you need a team. You need somebody that checks the legality, somebody that checks the municipalities issue and permits, as somebody that checks your financials, and obviously even bringing money to Italy, you do have some brokers that might give you a better rate versus the bank. You need to apply for a tax number, a fiscal code, we call it.
You buy? Or
when you buy.
Anytime.
No, when you buy. Because in order to buy, you need a fiscal code. We call it codice fiscale, which would be a tax identification number. So you need that. And that is quite easy, frankly. It's just... They can do it even at the local consulate, the Italian consulate, wherever they live.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned something, the tax. What about the capital gain? Is there any capital gain tax that?
Yes.
And that varies by if you're from Italy versus you're out a foreign, or is it the same for everybody?
No, it's the same for everybody. You do have in Italy, there's this rule, if you own a property for more than 5 years, you might end up not paying capital gains tax. But if you buy and sell, obviously there's capital gain. It depends on the amount. We do have an escalating
Depends
yeah,
on how much you made out of the
depends on how much you made on your personal taxes. So, or you can pay a flat fee to the notary, because being a foreigner, the notary would withhold the tax and pay it to the governments.
And that the percentage varies by how much you made or how much?
No, it's 26%.
26. Oh, that's for the.
26%.
If I buy for 100, sell for 200 out of the top
you
5.
pay 26,000 euro to the notary there and then when you sell.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the income tax, as you mentioned a little bit on the rental. If I make money out of rental income,
it depends. Yes, you do have also there another flat fee. It's 21% for the first rental, and then it's 26%, just like the capital gain. And obviously, you have to ask if it qualifies, if there is a bilateral treaty with your country, in order that the Italian taxes give you a tax benefit in or not.
Oh.
Yeah, because I just did a sale where capital gain was exempt in Italy, but the Spanish owner had to pay in Spain for capital gain. So that qualified as capital gain for the Spanish tax department, not for the Italian, because it was an inheritance. Okay. So in Italy it was exempt, but in here it didn't. Here in Barcelona, actually.
Yeah. That when it's double taxation, that's when
you always have to investigate.
Yes.
All these avenues before you commit. Okay.
Awesome. This is super informative. As an agent for you, your experience, what has been your main challenge besides the technology, MLS, and bureaucracy? Is it
Well, sometimes is if the buyer is actually a buyer.
Yeah.
Sure. If they're ready, or if they're just shopping because they fall in love with their idea of buying something, and then it's just an amount of time that you could have invested differently. That's the main challenge. But when it comes from another agent, just like the referrals that we get from EXP, the local agent kind of knows the temperature of the buyer. They know if they're ready, if they're moving, if they're listed their home, obviously, they got more. And obviously, you always have to pre-qualify people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We learned so much today about the Italian market. Thank you so much, Armando.
Thank you.
I feel like if you need to know anything about Italy, you know the country as a whole very well.
Yep.
Although you focus on Rome, there's that friendliness I find with you, that you understand the U.S. market and the Canadian market, and how they want to think, how they buy, how they...
So if there is any general question, I'm always available. If we need some local support, I'll try to align you up with the local agent and make sure that, you might have that, a single music director, so that,
So you don't get lost, you don't
you don't get lost into the Italian bureaucracy.
Especially because it's in Italian and
yes.
I don't speak Italian. Also, how can people find you online?
Instagram, Armando Sacco, or TikTok. I'm everywhere. LinkedIn. Is a big thing, yeah.
We'll put all Armando's links below so you can find him directly. And if you have any questions about Italy, now you know where to find a good professional. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate Investment Nomad podcast. I hope today's episode has inspired you to explore new horizons in global real estate. Remember, the world is full of opportunities waiting to be discovered. And with the right insights, you can turn those opportunities into successful investments. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us bring you the best content possible. Don't forget to follow us in social media for more resources and updates. Until next time, my friends, this is Nathaly Salas, encouraging you to think big, invest globally, and transform your real estate journey. Safe travels and happy investing.